Hey, it's Jeff. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you the update or the progress for my most recent Hoya perlite propagations. These have been in here for about 3 weeks now. I'm also going to show you how I set up and maintain my perlite propagation boxes, as there's been quite a few questions and comments kind of all over the place. People telling me how well perlite is doing for them, and the other side of the spectrum of people telling me that their cuttings are rotting in the perlite. So I'm going to try and address some of those concerns today in this video and show you how I maintain these boxes. I haven't opened this box up for at least a week, so let's open it up, give it some fresh air. If you haven't seen any of my other perlite propagations, I have almost like a 100% success rate, specifically for Hoyas in perlite. It is a super effective method of rooting Hoya. And the thing that I like about using perlite compared to moss or even water, I find that there is a very minimal transition period. If you plant these or pot them up in some soil, the perlite roots are usually quite a bit thicker and stronger than, say, water roots. Okay, so like I said, these have been in here for about 3 weeks now. This Hoya polynera, it's gonna have some decent roots on it. I can tell already. So like, look at those. Super healthy roots. This is definitely ready to be potted up in some soil. And when potting up in soil, I typically maybe just like knock the perlite off, but you don't have to remove it like you would if it was in sphagnum moss. If you have sphagnum moss in soil, or if you put it in like a heavy soil, the moss stays wet or moist. That could potentially cause root rot. So perlite, I don't find does that, and it's just a simple, easy transition. You don't have to, oh geez, look at this. Okay, so I guess I'm pulling out. So yeah, back to the perlite to soil transition. If you were to pot this up in some soil, I would basically just water it as you normally would any other Hoya. If you have these rooting in water and then you put it in soil, you want to keep that soil relatively wet for about 2 weeks and then slowly cut back on the watering to a regular watering routine. Otherwise, these delicate water roots will dry up fairly quick. So that's the big difference between perlite and water, and that's why I like perlite, is it's a much easier transition to soil. Okay, so these polynera, super nice. These will be spoken for. I'll be giving them to a friend of mine. Okay, so let's start off with the potsy eye here as well. Holy smokes. Okay, those are some nice roots. So less than, or about 3 weeks, I guess, these are ready to be potted up in some soil. So I won't be doing that today. Okay, so this one has some smaller roots. You could still probably pot that up in some soil, but it might, I'd probably leave it in here actually. This is good size roots for potting up in soil if they're like an inch or two. Here is another potsy eye cutting, and super nice roots on this one. What do you got in your mouth again? Oh my goodness, some plastic. If you hear some background noise, this guy is it's causing some trouble, looking for everything on the floor. Nope, can't have that. Nope. Nope. Okay, another potsy eye. Again, they're all nicely rooted. I'm just going to set these aside for now, but I'm going to be putting them back in the box just because I'm not ready to be potting them up yet. Here's one of the Matildes. You can see it's gotten lots of aerial roots there as well. Even though it wasn't in perlite, the humidity of the box basically sprouted these roots. Okay, and again, that's a nice cutting. Here's another Matilde. They all have nice roots. Here is the Chelsea. Here's some Fitchii. They all have roots. I'm just gonna run through these quick. Here's another Matilde. Nice roots. Got the few more Fitchii. These are two separate cuttings that have latched onto each other. One more down here. Here is the Parasitica heartleaf. Again, that's nicely rooted. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys is the Hoya sticks, the leafless cuttings that I put in the perlite here. You can see there is the tiniest little leaf starting. So if you do have a section of the stem that does not have any leaves, it will get some leaves, and it's obviously getting some nice roots there as well. So that was I can't say that. That was a success. Here's the other cuttings. It's got some roots on there. I can't remember which one these were. I think it's the Potsii. And then back here, again, they all have roots. So now I'm just putting them back, making sure all the roots are covered by perlite. Sticking these guys in. You can dig little holes if you need to as well. Cover it up. So again, all these cuttings, 100% success rate for all these cuttings in getting roots. It is a super effective method for rooting Hoyas and basically all plants in particular. The only one I really had rot in this perlite was my Philodendron Golden Goddess. I don't know what it is with that one particular plant, but it will not root in perlite, water, or anything for me. It just dies and rots. So who knows? Okay, so we'll cover this back up. Like I said, I don't have time to pot these up right now. A couple of them are going to friends. So yeah, let's start off with how to set this up. You can grab any size Tupperware. I bought these larger ones just to hold multiple cuttings, but if you want to root, you know, 1 or 2 cuttings, you can grab a small little Tupperware container. Just make sure it has a clear lid. It doesn't really matter if it's colored or not. You just want to make sure that it's able to get light to the cuttings. And basically what I do is I use this chunky perlite. It's a Dutch treat. Just pour it into a container like this. You can usually make it about half full. Let the dust settle. Make sure you wear a mask. And then I will take a container of water and I'll just fill it up so that all the perlite is saturated. So fill it up like that. Okay, I'm just gonna move this one out of the way. I'm going to get my little water tray, put this down. And you do not keep the water full like that. I will put the lid on and then you basically strain out the water. Gets any of the small little dust particles, any of the smaller perlite, just drain it out. This is a good way to ensure that all the perlite is saturated as well. So if I open it up, you can see that the perlite sticks together. There is no pooling of water at the bottom. That's key. You don't want any water sitting at the bottom, but you want all the perlite to be wet. And one way to check is you can take a little piece of perlite and squish it, and you can actually feel the moisture on your finger. So that's how you know if the perlite is wet or dry. I just give it a little bit of a squeeze. So this is all I do for the setup. Basically fill it up with water, strain it out, and then add your cuttings. Once you place the cuttings in perlite, I just put on the lid, seal it up. And as you can see, there is no holes on the top of either of the boxes or any of my boxes. I've probably opened the lid twice in the last 3 weeks. Once was today. I've probably opened it maybe 2 weeks ago just to look at the roots, and it's doing really, really good. If it makes you feel better, if you feel more comfortable, you can take the lid off for, you know, maybe once a week for about an hour or so, and then just seal it back up. Some of the things that I look for just when looking at the box is you can see a little bit of condensation on the top here, not much on the sides. And when I was testing the perlite, it felt still wet, but maybe a little bit drier than it was when it first started. I have not watered or I have not sprayed anything in it. So basically I haven't touched this for 3 weeks and it's basically self-sustaining. Open up the lid every once in a while, get some fresh air in there, but that's all I do for it. I do have this in a sunny location, and if you don't have it near a window, just make sure it's underneath a grow light or something like that. So sunlight is key. These cuttings need to photosynthesize in order to push out and develop these roots. So that's really all I do. Just pay attention to the box. If you see condensation on it, the perlite's probably okay. Just feel the perlite, give it a squish. If there's some moisture on your hand, then it's still okay. Otherwise, if you open it quite frequently and the perlite dries out, I just take my little spray bottle and then I will just saturate or kind of spray soak just the top there, just making sure that it doesn't get too dry. And again, just make sure that there's no pooling of water at the bottom. If there is, then just drain it out as best as you can. Once these cuttings are done, then I will remove them from the box. You can let the perlite dry out. And then whenever you get some more cuttings, just pop them in there after you give it some water, and then just kind of repeat the process for each time you take propagations. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for this update and tutorial video. I hope I covered all the topics in regards to how to set it up and maintain these propagation boxes. I'm a huge advocate for Perlite. It is super successful for me, and the nice thing about it is that it is reusable as well. Once you're done these propagations, or if you don't want to do the propagation box anymore, then you can literally just toss it in some soil like that. If you have any other comments or questions that wasn't covered in this video, please leave it down below. Let me know if you like this video as well. I hope it helps you in your plant care. Thanks again for watching my videos. Take care, everyone.